Assalamualaikum and hi. We are from Group Idyllic. First of all, our title is the pros and cons of doing online business in the midst of the pandemic. But before jumping into the points, I would like to introduce our group members. The first one is me, Siti Nur Syafiqah binti Zulkarnain. I'll be presenting the introduction and the pros of doing online business. The next member is the fourth member is, and last but not least. So now I will give a brief explanation about our title. With the sudden spread of an infectious virus called COVID-19, our country's ministry has decided to implement the Movement Control Order, or the MCO, to the whole country. The pandemic isn't something that you or me can expect it to happen. So, during the pandemic, many people has lost their jobs, and one of their initiative is to do online business. So many people have set up their own online business during the pandemic. It was so sudden that some of us doesn't even have any backup plans for their saving. So, due to MCO, many people has lost their job as the company was cutting down the number of employees at their company to save down the budget. After a few months of staying at home due to the MCO, we could see that there is a mass increase in the number of business accounts operating on the social media. Online business is an initiative of doing business without having to go to the stores or the vendors. People can easily shop and sell online with the help of social media platforms. Online business can be easily conducted as long as there are sources of internet, the mediums such as laptop, and even the smartphones. And not to forget the platforms. The common use platforms by the business owner is Twitter, Facebook, Shopee, and Instagram. Nowadays, the entrepreneurs and even the newbie in business choose to do online business as it can reduce the contact with people. During the pandemic, we want to avoid contact with people, so online business is the best choice. Everything in this world has its own pros and cons. It's the same for online business. It has its own pros and cons. So today, we will unfold the pros and cons of doing the online business in the midst of the pandemic. I will highlight the first pro of doing the online business in the midst of the pandemic. The first pro of doing online business in the midst of pandemic is cost reducing. Back in the days where there isn't any infectious disease in the world, the entrepreneurs will have to go to their physical store to run their business. And of course, once they have their own store, they will have to include all of the costs used in order to run their business. During the pandemic, we could say that it's beneficial for the entrepreneurs or the business owner because it is cost effective. Why? Because they don't have to pay at all or just pay a little amount for their vendors' electricity and water bills. Other than that, it is beneficial for the business owner as they don't have to spend their money on hiring so many staff because they don't need that many staff to operate their online business, as the online business owner could handle all sort of things by himself, such as doing the postage or delivering the items to the customer. Small business wouldn't have to hire any staff. Meanwhile, big company can hire just one or two staff to engage with their customers or to calculate their stock inventories. That way, it will be easier for the business owner to keep track on their cash flow. Last but not least, the entrepreneur wouldn't have to pay for gas as they can work from home. Of course, They will have a meeting from time to time, but sure, it is cost effective than usual. We will have to go back and forth to the company from home during the normal days, but during the pandemic, as there are MCO and we need to practice social distancing, we don't need to go to the office to hold a meeting as there are rules and regulations of the MCO to be followed. The meeting can be held online by using platforms such as Google Meet, WebEx, and even WhatsApp calls. Then we will move to the next pros that will be presented by the next presenter.